Goodness gracious, man. That shit just really just threw me off. Like motherfuckers be inconsiderate.
It's the whole energy.
Yeah, my energy's so fucked up right now because I'm annoyed. Like I don't like when people ask me stuff that they know how I feel about. Fuck. All right. My fucking life in order. Is my we don't
Get more sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tilt it down.
Yeah, it's about that season. I'm about to start hustling again. If I can get this motherfucker. You know what always fucks me up? The sides. Because it's the opposite side over here.
Right.
I be trying to fix something and be fucking up the wrong shit. All right, we go. Yeah. Yahoo family. Y'all got to watch me get myself together. My apologies. But we just had technical difficulties, wardrobe malfunction, and all type of shit. Yahoo my a uda. Neamu Teda. Peace to the family. What's up, kings and queens, and all that good stuff. We gonna rock super hard tonight. Because I found out some new information. And anytime I find out new information, I bring it straight to y'all. So we're gonna deal with that part of life. But we'll deal with the extracurriculars of the world. We know Jonathan Majors got found guilty. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't look into it. I didn't even watch none of it. And I'm gonna tell you why. For two reasons. For one, and this is the primary reason, I don't respect no black man that do the duck lips. This is just not where I'm at in my life right now. That's my first reason. No, I know he don't be doing it on purpose, but he be doing it. So no, but it's only one or two things. And so when you get so hip to this system, it's kind of like it get repetitive. So what's going on with Jonathan Majors is simple. He is not willing to play ball to this level, so he's getting outed. It's just that simple. They all do it. So who gets outed depends on what's happening at the moment. So obviously, Jonathan Majors is not completely committing. And since they've given him so much so soon, and you still don't believe, okay, well, then we're going to spank you. That's what's happening with Jonathan Majors right now. It's that simple. So why even waste the energy? Puffy's getting the Bill Cosby treatment, as I predicted to y'all like 7 months ago before he was even in trouble. But hey, whatever. I'm just some guy on YouTube. And the other thing I predicted, I said he's the first one. It's gonna be men. Nobody else is men. Now you see all these men coming out the war. I told y'all this. I told y'all. And here's why. Here's why they're doing this to Puffy. This is the problem. And I told y'all this. Now watch this. They're tired of the closet homosexual era. They want it out. The number one movement in America is the LGBTQ alphabet. So they're tired of hiding. They want to teach your kids in drag and all that. They want the whole thing out. They want it out. Look what the Pope just did, approving more same-sex marriages. So now just throw the Bible out. Fuck it. If a man lay with another man as he lay with a woman, it's an abomination. But we don't care about that because the Pope said you can do it now. Y'all ain't paying attention. And see, this is, I hope it's a little early. He ain't here yet. He gonna realize he should be spying on me, and then he'll pop up like midway through my lecture. My brother, who I'm gonna be debating on the 6th. So this is what himself and a lot of y'all are missing. And no disrespect to him, that's my brother. I ain't talking negative about him or nothing like that. But you don't understand. We as a collective don't understand the things that you believe. It's not that they don't exist. It's that they are no longer what you think. And that goes for everything. You're looking at a world that you see completely dominated. In every facet of existence, you see it dominated. Yet you think the things that you believe are still intact. That's called ego. That's your ego refusing to evolve with the world that you live in. The world that you live in has evolved through several states. So it's whatever you believed 20 years ago, it's impossible for you to have the same line of thinking right now, or you have not evolved. Simple. Existence is about evolution. So now what you're dealing with is you could watch a certain point in time where you could see all of these black celebrities in Hollywood. They had like a black Hollywood. They was moving and shaking, and there was a lot of things flowing. And it appeared to be a lot more freedom. But that's because we didn't know what we were looking at. Now, as I rewind the tape and I go back and look at the old stuff, it's always been in place. It's just evolved. So let me give you a for instance. We starting to get on our little conspiracy space, and we will watch a movie and we'll be like, oh, look, they're going to all seeing eye. And see, that'll let us know, like, okay, they sliding that in the movies. We just now getting hip to that. Well, how about you go back and watch Eddie Murphy Golden Child? Soon as he's looking for the little girl and he walk into that first building where he end up in that first fight with the bad guys, there's a big ass spray painted all-seeing eye on the wall. This is a Hollywood set. It's not a real drug house. So while they put up the Hollywood set for the Hollywood movie, somebody decided to spray paint the all-seeing eye as a backdrop. Why? For the same reason why if you fast forward to modern day, and I think it was 2020, Ice Cube's son was in that movie Den of Thieves. And y'all remember, he was a spray paint artist. And he spray paint some on the kitchen wall. What was it? The owl. The same owl that Drake got for his OVO logo. The same owl that's in the little corner of your dollar bill. The same owl. They told y'all it was a 40-foot red one that the naked white folks in Rose was praying to out at Bohemian Grove. Aha. That owl is attached to a goddess of war named Minerva. See, if you don't know, then it doesn't matter. But soon as you know and you can connect dots, then a bigger picture develops. So it's the same thing with that brother who I'm debating on the 6th. It's not that he is wrong in its entirety. It's that he doesn't understand what evolution did to his beliefs. And that's where I come in at. If your beliefs haven't evolved, then you can't possibly know what's going on with the world, because the world has changed. And now the people who are in charge, they understand they have to keep you asleep. So therefore, things are going to be placed a certain way. But here's the thing. You look around our society and you see, like, I give y'all a for instance. I was at the poker table last night. Oh yeah, I play poker on Monday. So what? So we was playing poker. I was sitting around, and the white guy says, I had Monday Night Football on. He says, those guys don't get paid enough for what they do. They really ought to get paid more. And I said, I disagree. He said, well, man, you got to watch at the end of their career how banged up they are and how horrible they are and all that. So run into one of those running backs and it's like a Mack truck. I said, I agree, but this is a choice. They're choosing to do this. In my opinion, I think they should make less. Look at all the poverty and homelessness. You could literally take 1 million from every professional athlete's check. They would still be millionaires, and you could solve the homeless problem in America. So I don't agree, because it's 36 NBA teams or NFL teams or some shit like that. 20-something guys on each roster, 1 million from everybody. Bro, you just ended world hunger. But instead, you keep giving it to these guys who choose to run into fucking brick walls. No, I don't agree with that. So either way it go. But my point is this right here. It's all a perception thing. We are so clouded with the perception of the illusion that we would rather see millionaires who have a choice make out better than people who've been victimized by a system. When you get on that frequency as a civilization, you're no longer godly. So this I'm trying to get y'all to understand. But these things that you're looking into are not teaching you this. We look at celebrities and we hold them to some type of deity status. As soon as something bad come out about them, we like so-and-so wouldn't do that. And such couldn't do this and couldn't do that. Well, tonight I'm going to present two sides. The first side I'm going to present is, once again, I disagree. Because of evolution. We're not aware of what evolution has done to what we think being a celebrity is. So understand something. We're going to break this thing all the way down tonight. What's at the core of being a celebrity? What's at the core of it? This is fuck it. This is the reason why people like me exist. Because y'all ain't going to do what I'm finna do right here. Watch how I'm finna go back and connect this. You could connect what I'm finna talk about. We could connect this to Nazi Germany. We could connect this. Y'all see the flyers say we about to deal with hip hop and the CIA. What this nigga in Nazi Germany for? That's what I'm saying. So now, what happens in Nazi Germany that sets the standard for what we're about to deal with? What was Nazi Germany about? Nazi Germany was about conducting science experiments to try and find a master race. Now, what is a master race and what is the purpose of it? Why are they trying to find a master race? Because of you. They've been trying to make super soldiers ever since science was science. What the fuck you think Frankenstein was doing? They've been trying to clone and remake the genetics of you. You're the fucking super soldier. They're trying to remake you, but in a white body. So, in Nazi Germany, they created this whole thing. This is what you have to understand. Y'all keep thinking what you're looking at is real. That's why they tell you the whole world is a stage. So you have to understand. And this is what you won't honor. Your world is taking over. Fucking deal with it. You really think y'all will sit here, y'all will talk about pedophiles, y'all will talk about people who eat babies, y'all will watch people behead other people, y'all will see all of this sick madness, and you still not convinced that this ain't normal? They fucking eat babies here. What is wrong with y'all? Y'all think that's just normal people behavior? No. We just watched this whole Epstein thing, and everybody was so appalled about Epstein. Nobody stopped and asked one question. One question. Why are the people on this planet who would appear to have every fucking thing you want? Remember, the reason why you murder each other, do all this illegal shit, hate your baby mommy, hate your baby daddy, have sex behind your loved one's back, steal, rob, rape, kill. The reason why you do all of this shit, according to you, is because you chasing the bag. They got it already. So how come the people that got everything that you want, why are they 10 times worse than you? Is there something that happens along the way to the bag that makes you start eating fucking children? Come on, let's just get to the bottom line. How come the people who have every fucking thing that you want for, the reason why you do all the filthy shit you do to each other, they got it already, and they do 10 times worse than you? Why? See, this is the stuff you don't want to ask yourself, because you think it takes too much time to just, this is a logical, I'm presenting y'all with a respectable fucking question. How come the people who got everything are so fucked up in the head? Then maybe it's something else they want. So now we're running experiments in Nazi Germany. We created Nazi Germany for the purpose of running experiments on human beings. We can't do it in America, so we're going to do it over here. Now, why are we doing this? Oh, how I wish the dude who I was debating was present right now. Why are we doing this? Why does Nazi Germany exist? Because in the Bible it says that these so-called Jews will be slaughtered in a foreign land. So therefore, in order for them to fit the biblical description, you have to have Jews slaughtered in a foreign land. Only problem is there's no such thing. You had to make it. So here's what we do. We had this war. You can look it up. It's called the Greco-Roman Wars. So what happens when you take a Roman and a Greek and you mate? You get a darker version of the same two and you call it a Jew. And then now we got ourselves a situation. Now we got to get these people over here and fulfill the prophecy, because Hitler was a Rothschild. And I've already proven that he was part of the bloodline, the same bloodline from the Sumerian kings list. Hitler is a direct descendant of those people, and so are the Rockefellers and Rothschilds. This shit is, as Professor Griff says, it's deeper than rap. So I got to go over there to get you over here. So now, let's fast forward. So we have the Nazi Germany thing, and then it's over with, And then this what really matters. So there's something called, well, first of all, we have to make the United States pay war taxes to the Jews in Germany. And this is somewhere around 1948-ish. The fall of Adolf Hitler, whose body we never found, might I add. And so the fall of Hitler creates what? The Jews from Germany get reparations and end up in America. In 1950 is the birth of Hollywood. Who's in charge of it? Well, y'all say all the time the Jews run Hollywood and entertainment. Well, that started in the 1950s with the money that came from the reparations from Nazi Germany. Now, the other thing that happens is Adolf Hitler created the television, just so we're clear. The television was created by Nazi Germany and the scientists of Adolf Hitler. This was for the purpose of brainwash and propaganda. Now, Nazi Germany made the television, and then the Jews that left Nazi Germany and came to America with reparations money just so happened to start Hollywood right after the television was made. And those same people have been in control of 70 years of television and entertainment in America. Now that we've done with that tasty little tidbit, you must understand this whole purpose was to take the same vehicle that they had built in Nazi Germany and Americanize it. So you have something called Operation Paperclip, where they brought in over 1,000 of the top German scientists and researchers. These were the guys who were supposed to get the gas chamber for what they had done in Auschwitz. Instead, they got smuggled into the United States. And I even posted a picture with all of them. It's like a lot of them standing out on the lawn. So now this is the same entity that runs your entertainment, movie, and music industry. So it's ran by mind control scientists and their children, because the purpose of it in the first place was for propaganda and brainwash. So in your mind, you're just watching a movie. But that's because you're not a high-level German scientist that understands the mind and understands that the prefrontal cortex takes in information immediately and hits the subconscious before you are even physically aware that it's happening. Meaning your brain and your mind picks up on things on the television screen that you don't directly know or are aware of. You see how that could be a problem? Because it was put together by scientists. And now we're going to get to the good stuff. Hold on. Let me see what y'all talking about over here, though. Y'all over here rocking. Peace to my queen. Peace to the family. Peace, 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 peace. Y'all old queen. All right. Street road against the system for originals and land of Black and African Americans. All right. Why do they have to hide the owl? Because the whole system is a gift for us to win easily without bloodshed. Hold on. I'm saying, right? You think they stopped or started bringing people here after World War II or the day before during the Great? Okay, all right. I just got to get caught up now. They never stopped bringing people here. Why would you stop? It was theirs in the first place, and that's what I'm trying to get us to understand. It's we look at this like different nations, separate pockets, and separate things. And that's why it allows us, I talk about all the time about compartmentalization, compartmentalized thoughts. They put everything in a compartment and you process it that way. So when they show you a map with these lines in it and these different divided territories, in your mind, that's what it is. You would never understand that all of these divided lines and territories are owned by the same people. The world that you understand does not exist. And that is why it's so hard for people to fathom some of the stuff that I say. A non-controlled world, put it to you this way. If this world wasn't completely under control by now, we'd have been free a long time ago. You're under a system that we all can see. We all can see that there's something going on, but then at some point we want to forget about it and try to act normal like it's not there. No, there's a system in place, and it has been. And nobody stopped it. So why would we think that it stopped? Why do we think that there's anything that's natural, real, or fair? Why? If I'm trying to completely dominate a people, why would I have anything natural, real, or fair? All of those are a route back to freedom. I want total domination. So when you look at this and you can see, like, you start to see, I brought up the signs and symbols because it's important. I did this little background thing because it's important that we know the background of certain things. So now, once we get to America in the 50s with television, now watch this. You get to America in the 50s with television, and 10 years later is you start to get the beginning of the hippie movement. Now, what are these movements? You're going to always get revolutions are led by the youth, the next generation. So the reason why in the old days they used to kill a man and his son is to stop rebellion later. So when you get out the time frame where you could track people down, kill them, and kill their offspring, we got out of that era. So, or at least not outwardly. So now what you have is, since we can't outwardly kill the youth, we have to find a way to control the youth. This is always a thought process. You got to think about it. Okay, we're trying to control the world. And the old king and queen days, they used to always say, kill him and kill his son. Kill anybody in his lineage that's going to want revenge. We can't do that no more. So that means now the youth are born and they get to know about what happened to their ancestors. Well, that's going to make them want to do something about it. So now you get all of these movements, you get these riots, Black people, you get wars with the Native Americans, you get all of these different movements spawning out of early 20th century America. And what do? So, like, this is when you see the influx of drugs hitting the country. The influx of drugs hitting the country, and who is, when we used to watch those like the movies, who is the drug dealers always peddling to? They was up at the schoolyard trying to get the kids high. So the drugs get brought into the city, into the nation, and now this is another way of controlling the people. This is why the drugs are controlled by the government. And this is going to connect to what we're talking about. Drugs are controlled by the government. If the government didn't want drugs here, they wouldn't be here. Just think about it. We said that we was raiding foreign nations, stopping them from doing all kind of shit. We rated the number 2 place on the world for in the world for heroin. And soon as we did that, heroin became the number 1 drug in America for the next 20 years. So 2 + 2 is 4. We stole the dope and brought it here. Why? And then y'all say that's crazy. No, you just got to think. This is not about how you feel. This is about ruling the world. And what's the best way to control people? You dumb them down. So a government loves drugs floating through its nation because it guarantees that people won't be ambitious. The only people gonna be ambitious is the drug dealers. But the citizens just want to get high and go to work. You want that. So you allow drugs to flow through your country because as long as people are allowed to get high, because life's stressful as fuck. This world is stressful as fuck. They made it that way. So now, problem, reaction, solution. We're trying to rule you. So we're going to impede things on you. Our ways going to stress you out. And now, when our ways stress you out, the problem is the way the world is. The reaction is stress. The people are stressed. The solution is drugs. So now you can take your stressed out ass to your local pharmacy or drug pusher, get something to calm you down, and take your ass back to work. This is how you run a nation and control it the dirty way. Now, we seen this firsthand. Black folks seen it with the crack epidemic. The United States government admitted that the United States CIA and the Reaganomics, they put together, hold on, where's my, he gave me the charger and I don't think I'll find it in a second. So we know with the Reaganomics and the war on drugs, we know they distributed crack to the inner city and gave it to Freeway Ricky Ross. He was getting his dope from the government. And then they gave him all that time for it. You see how these people play? He struck a deal with an undercover for the United States government. This dude was an active confidential informant for the government. Rick Ross was buying dope from him, taking it to the inner city and giving it to black people, making $2 to $3 million a day selling crack to our people that he got from the government. And then when he tried to quit and build something for the children, they set him up. But the way they set him up, he said, I'm out. I'm not doing it no more. The dude who had put him on all that time, who was a confidential informant, asked him for a favor. Like, I need you to do it for me for a favor. Because dude had did so much for him, he went with dude as a favor. Just being present. The feds bust in, see him there, take everything from him. He was building he bought a theater for the children. They took his everything. How can a known CI who worked for the feds set me up? Like, bro, you see, he wearing a wire. Y'all can hear I don't want to. You could hear me say I'm no longer in the game. You make him take me on a ride. And I get popped off, and y'all know I ain't doing it. Why? Because it's a statement. It's a statement. It's a fall guy for the operation. Is Rick Ross story on film? Yeah, you can get that Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross. You can get that on YouTube. And he'll tell you about it. I used to I was real heavy into him. So I watched a lot of his his interviews. He'll tell you his whole story. I watched his life story. He got a couple different ones out, and he put one out about his life, and you watch his interviews. But yeah, it was a dude named Blandon was a confidential informant, and Blandon is the one set him up. And that whole thing goes all the way back. That was the United States government. Now the whole thing was the United States government was trying to take over in the Middle East. And so they was providing guns and weapons to the Contras. So the Contras could take the Russia was moving into the Middle East, and the United States wanted the Middle East. So the United States paid the Contras to run up on Russia people and keep them out of the Middle East. And so they was using crack to fund the war against the Iran. And so they could have used cocaine in colleges and made the same kind of money. Y'all seen, goddammit, what Tariq did. Y'all watch Power. Y'all seen what Tariq did on that college campus with the white kids. So it was a conscious decision to use the ghetto and black people. And then, now, keep in mind, this is a formula. They call it freebasing, but this is a formula where you got to mix the baking soda with the cocaine. Okay, this is what you got to think about. If I'm a drug dealer and I buy a kilo of cocaine, I'm not finna experiment with my kilo of cocaine and try some shit. If I'm a smoker and I buy some cocaine to snort, I'm not finna take my little $100 worth of snort and try to play with the shit. So what I'm saying is, wherever the concept of cooking crack came from, it came from somebody who has knowledge of science, which means it came from a laboratory. The United States government literally created crack cocaine. Literally. And it's on record. They admit to it. With the plan of distributing it through the inner cities of Black America. And they purposely made it so cheap because they was using poor people. So this is the ultimate definition of kick them when they down. They targeted poor people and just made the drug more inexpensive. So you took the people who have the least in America and said, let's give them a habit. This could have sustained in suburban America, and then there probably nobody would have fell off like that. And then here comes, right after the crack epidemic get real heavy, they came with the Bad Boys show. Now, Bad Boys highlighted us robbing, stealing, killing, nodding, sleep in public. It made Black people look like the scum of the earth. What I'm trying to get y'all to see is, every step along the way, this is a calculated vehicle. None of what I just told you is by happenstance. Just keep in mind, we only been here 40 minutes, and we was just in Nazi Germany. We was just in Nazi Germany with Adolf Hitler. Now we in America with Ronald Reagan, and we're talking about the exact same system. That's what you need to understand. It's the same people, same system. When you look and find out who put Hitler in power, you can Google it. Prescott Bush. That's Grandpa Bush. All the families you always hear about, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, all of these people put an end on it and put the money together and put the money up for Nazi Germany. This is documented. You don't have to believe me. It's documented. They got caught and admitted it already. So if that's the case, that explains why Hitler just disappears after all of this. Because remember, we never found him, ever. The person they said was him, we found out later it wasn't through dental records. So who said it was him in the first place? Why did we assume with no dental records? Or who staged it to make it look like it was him? Either way, there's fuckery right there. Either way, there's fuckery right there. What was Hitler saying in his last days? In his last days, he was calling out America, saying he was finna bust that ass. Ah. All of it is connected. Because if the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, DuPonts, and the Bushes was involved with Hitler, and we know it because it's documented, well, those are the same families that we see running things in America. And if we know Operation Paperclip really exists, we know because you can fucking Google it, then we know at least 1,000 Nazi Germany scientists and researchers came to America after that Germany ended. Why? Then we can find out those same people are responsible for creating the curriculum for your educational system. It's documented. I done proved it already. So you're noticing a pattern here. Those same people created your entertainment industry. Now let's deal with that part. Because remember, Nazi Germany and the researchers and scientists over there, their specialty was mind, the mind. They were studying the mind and mind control. You remind me, detective shows were big, like First 48, We Can Do, White Collar Investigation. Yeah. All of that. And they want you to see certain things. You have to understand the television is designed for you to see certain things. When you see a movie, in your mind, this is just the director just doing some shit. No! The director has an agenda that has to be met. That's why you see the same formula in every movie. But now, so if the television came from Nazi Germany, and we know it did, you can Google it, they're going to credit Adolf Hitler with the creation of the television, just so we're clear. Okay, so now the scientists, we can prove they're here. That's proof. So now, if we can prove the scientists came from Nazi Germany, and we can prove the television was invented in Nazi Germany, and we can prove the primary research being done in Nazi Germany was about mind control, then the only thing we have left is to ask ourselves this. Why wouldn't you mix the two? If you had a television and you had mind control people at your beck and call, why wouldn't you implement that into television programming? Why wouldn't you if you were trying to control people? I mean, this is a fucking no-brainer. Of course you would. You and I wouldn't because we're not weird like that. But we got to think about people who are trying to rule the world. You don't let people just freely think 24 hours a day. You can't run the world like that. If you listen, if people had to come home from work and the only thing they had to do was ponder about their personal situation, we would have burnt this bitch down 150 years ago. Because nobody's really happy. It's the stupid ass television that makes us think we're happy. Our entire everything is rooted in what comes off of that fucking television screen. You just got to think about it. You don't want to admit it, but you got to think about it. Our existence is the television. Your phone screen, that's the same thing. Your computer, laptop, it's all the television now. Internet is the new television. And we're all addicted to it. Well, who controls it? Now, I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to start playing these clips for y'all. Now, we already said that in the 80s, the CIA and the United States government is admittingly and got caught for having something to do with the production, manufacturing, and distribution of crack to the inner city where black people are at. Now, this was science. It had to be science. So now, making a decision to put us on television in that weakened state, that was science. Somebody had to make a decision to say, we're going to make the #1 television show on TV about how lousy black people got it and how much they're addicted to drugs and their life is fucked up. Who would think of such a thing? Let's find out.
Project MK Ultra was a human experimentation program implemented by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency intended to develop procedures that could be used to psychologically manipulate.
Y'all give me 1 second. I know I'm doing something wrong. Say the
or brainwash individuals or unsuspecting populations. It was a covert continuation of scientific.
Because this is a dope ass video. Now this dude right here is about to really break down the connection between the CIA and hip hop. Corey! And another thing I was gonna say about the movements and the youth stirring up movements. That's where gangs came from. It's the rebellion of the youth. And that's where the hippie movement came from. Now keep in mind, right before hip hop, you had hippies. And it was the exact same thing. They was musicians. They was rebelling against the system. The only difference, and they was heavy in the drugs. The only difference is their movement was surrounded around non-participation and love for one another. And that movement became so strong that the United States government and the CIA realized that they had to do something. So what did they do? They created something called Woodstock. That was a CIA operation. And they started to control the hippie movement. And so anything that they have, that you have, at some point it will be infiltrated and used against you, because they cannot allow you to take whatever it is and actually grow from it. So they're going to have to get into whatever, water it down, switch it up, and dilute it. So now they take the hippie movement and the Woodstock thing, and they send the feds in and bust all them kids up, and everybody start going to jail. and all the legal problems start. So the feds put together, well, no, they didn't put together, but they learned. They infiltrated the hippie movement and they pulled it apart. And they learned from that. If we don't do that, if we don't either start the next movement or get ahead of it, then we'll create, one of these times we ain't gonna be able to stop it. So now, when you move into hip hop, this is just the children of those kids. Because if you think about it, a lot of tell your parents, I mean, like a lot of our parents, if you're in my age group, a lot of our parents was part of that hippie movement or just missed it or knew about it or was around. We're in that age range. We're the children of those guys or the grandchildren, rather. And as a result, you see what happens. Now, those same kids, the hippies, was just hanging out, smoking pot, playing their guitar and making music together. Okay, well, fast forward, we ain't got no guitars. We hanging out, we young, rebellious, we smoking weed together. So we boom, boom, boom. And now, for you know it, oh, that sounds kind of good. Well, my name is, and there you go. It's just something to do so we can talk, get out the stresses, have a good time, and then you know we're going to talk about rebellion because this is what the youth is always about, rebellion against against whatever the parents didn't see or shouldn't have tolerated. This is the way it goes. So now, this is the birth of what we're calling hip hop. And it's just my, okay, wait. I don't know why I won't play, y'all. Damn it. I can't even call them. Let me try this one more time. Cause I wanna, it's 7 o'clock. Corey! My fault, y'all. I could hear him though. I think he in a deep ass conversation. He probably ain't gonna hear me. I'm finna have to run and go get him, y'all. My fault. Give me 1 second, please. Oh yeah. Okay. Ain't no music, ain't no volume on the when I press play.
Or the
Here go, yeah, here go the headphones, but ain't no volume to them. All right, let me
Scientific experiments conducted by German scientists during World War II on human subjects during interrogations with hallucinogenic substances such as mescaline, with the stated goal of eliminating the will of the person being examined. The CIA project was a continuation of these earlier Nazi experiments by exploiting the advances made by the numerous German scientists who were hired to work for the U.S. as part of Operation Paperclip. The post-World War II American MKUltra program.
Can y'all hear it? Because I can't hear nothing. Can y'all hear it?
Its subjects' mental states and brain functions, in addition to high doses of psychoactive drugs.
Hey, could y'all hear that? Somebody let me know if y'all can hear that. Oh, they hear it. I just don't hear it. Ain't that a bitch?
It's just the headphones.
Okay then. Okay then. So y'all had access and I didn't. All right, that's cool. Hey, I'm so, didn't I tell y'all, I say when I first started, I say my partner who I'm going against, he ain't here yet. He gonna get about an hour and pop in and try to see what I'm talking about. That man popped in at 7 o'clock on the dot. Mr. Lamont, you getting too predictable. You getting a little too predictable, man. You getting a little too predictable. Okay, let me see what we working with one time.
Drugs such as LSD and other chemicals
still
like
ain't nothing coming out the
scopolamine without the subject's consent.
Y'all ain't finna keep cheating me, so y'all gonna have to hold on. Because all I see is pretty pictures and I don't know what they talking about. But y'all Quint. So now, here's the thing though. It still ain't working?
No, I'm gonna actually log into your account while you're in there.
Okay.
But you can keep going on.
Okay. So we gonna keep cooking, and then he gonna try to work on that audio because I got some dope ass clips for y'all. I want y'all to really see this man. So I guess I could prep it. He's gonna break down really when and how the CIA got involved with hip hop, and it's crazy. As soon as I heard this, I was like, man, this is what we got to do for the show. It's like if somebody don't bring something to your attention, then you just don't know. But when you go back to the Fat Boys, and you could see pictures of them in the magazines throwing up the devil horns. We thinking this something new. Why is the Fat Boys throwing? This don't mean no fucking rock star. Y'all better stop following for that. We think it mean rock star because the rock stars was doing it first. They was the first ones on the tape. But that don't mean it's theirs. Signs and symbols run your planet. And so the way I be knowing a lot of stuff that y'all think I be wrong about is because I don't have to know a certain thing. I could be completely oblivious to it. But I could look at the signs and symbols attached to it and know exactly what they're talking about and what's the purpose of it. See, that's the whole thing. Signs and symbols run the world. So I could look at somebody and say, man, that person is corrupt. Like Michael Jackson, for instance. Anytime I say something about Michael Jackson, y'all get heavily offended. Signs and symbols run the world. Michael Jackson was big. He threw up them devil horns a lot. But we don't know what that means. You could go all the way back. I'm gonna show y'all when we get in Clubhouse. I got some pictures for y'all. I'm gonna show y'all that Michael Jackson been on the take since the Jackson 5. Michael Jackson been one of them since the Jackson 5. That's what you're not understanding. You can't spend your whole life in the industry and not be one of them. Y'all crazy. I'm talking about Michael Jackson. He wasn't with that shit. Then he wouldn't have. You can't become the king of nothing around this motherfucker unless you own the village. You ain't gonna be the king of shit if you're not playing with them people. Why? You see what they do to people, man? Your ass would be dead meat. Y'all literally have people that y'all think is innocent and the police framed. We see it all the time. So how come when we say it happened to on this level, you don't believe it? People get framed or they play ball. And then when they start to play ball, if they don't keep playing ball, then that's the next level. You're going to deal with that. But you're not getting close to these millions and you're not one of us. Why? Y'all caught up in this illusion that people could do what they want on this planet. There is no space on this planet where you could do what you want. There is nothing on this planet that hasn't been contaminated. Nothing. Nothing is natural. Nothing. There is no original nothing on this planet. Why? Your planet is hijacked. And you think that this is the end all. So in your mind, God got to tend to this moment. And so it's impossible for what I'm saying to be happening because God wouldn't let this happen and blah, 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 blah. You don't understand who the fuck God is. And I'm going to tell you right now, God ain't as caught up on this planet as you think. He got other shit to do, a lot bigger, a lot more significant. If I'm being the politest way I can put it, this planet is damn near a toilet bowl. Nobody really cares but us. So God is not sitting around hovering over this planet, answering your every fucking prayer, getting you jobs at McDonald's and all of that weird shit that y'all believe. That's not what's going on here. Evil took over your planet. Evil got trapped on your planet. And anybody who can't let this planet go, then your ass to get what you got coming to you. It ain't about this planet. This planet is school. Get your fucking education while you here before you pass on to the next paradigm. So if you stay on this paradigm, bullheaded, ignorant, stubborn, arrogant, refusing to grow, refusing to evolve, refusing to accept new thoughts and new ways, then you will mentally perish like the parasites on this planet. It's about evolution. It's not about the old school nothing. It's not about the old school nothing. Y'all better get with the evolution of existence. Everything evolves, everything. So if you still got an old thought process about anything from the past, if you're still connecting with the past like it's the present, you're going to lose or you've lost already. Oh, they messing. Oh, yeah, you know when I get on fire, they get to fucking with me. Fuck out of here. Y'all better evolve. I'm telling you right now. It ain't about this old shit. This planet, these people, this planet has been hijacked. Bottom line. So what you're looking at is a process. Everything you see is tampered with. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? Why would there be anything pure on a place where they eat babies? Y'all tripping, man. It's the ego. It's the ego that got you refusing to see certain shit. It's right in front of our face. They put it in front of our face because this is a spiritual battle. There's galactic things past what you understand going on. There's a galactic federation. There's other entities that got their hands in what's going on. There's a higher council. There's a lot of shit going on. Much bigger than what's going on here. So you have to understand. You're dealing with a planet that is being manipulated and controlled. So you have to understand what the game is. And the game is misinformation. Why the fuck y'all think I called this that? Misinformation nation, because misinformation is the only real currency. So misinformation is what? It's going to keep your ass absent of what you're trying to achieve as long as you're falling for the misinformation and the disinformation. Did you
I gotta jump on there, so if we want to start the video, I gotta make a change in settings.
okay, so he gonna change the settings. I'm going to the bathroom, and when I come back, we're gonna snap. Okay, there you go. My fault, y'all. All right, so we back. I'm live, and now I'm finna turn this on for y'all, and then I'll come back and double back on you.
The CIA used electroshocks, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, and other forms of torture. MKUltra's scope was broad, with activities carried out under the guise of research at more than 80 institutions, aside from the military, including colleges and universities, hospitals, prisons, and pharmaceutical companies. That said, the attempts at psychological manipulation was not restricted to individual experimentation, but implemented on a large scale to influence public behavior through the infiltration of various forms of media, including film and music. John Homston, a retired CIA agent, has admitted on national Russian television that the CIA was behind the creation of the 1980s hip-hop scene and financed major hip-hop acts including NWA, Afrika Bambaataa, and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. The government at the time spent, quote, big money, serious money, on this covert operation destined.
Was hip hop really a CIA op? A CIA psyop? Now, just for a second, let's just think about that, y'all. Look who he just named. He just named who they call the fathers of gangster rap and the fathers of hip hop. NWA, Afrika Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash. And now, I take interest in the name Grandmaster because it's only one way you can get that name, Grandmaster. Now, these are the guys who came in at the beginning. I just wanted to point that out for a second. Now here we go. Watch this.
Further division and corrupt the American youth to nihilist, anti-establishment, and anti-American ideologies, he explained in a half-hour interview broadcast on national television. Famous hip-hop songs of the legendary hip-hop outfit NWA were even scripted by a team of psychologists and war propagandists of the CIA. F the police and When I'm Called Off, I Got a Sawed Off, Squeeze the Trigger, and Bodies Are Hauled Off, and other nihilist and anti-establishment lyrics were intended to unleash a wave of cynicism towards authorities, promote the use of heavy drugs, and entice the youth with revolutionary counter-establishment ideas. The retired CIA agent.
Now hold on, y'all. Now, I know I ain't the only person. That was my favorite line. When I'm called off, bodies are hauled off. Where's the trigger? And then where's the shot? Now, fuck the police. Hold on a minute. Wasn't Ice Cube writing most of the lyrics? They just told us that the CIA was in on this on the beginning, and Ice Cube was the number one writer. Wasn't he the schoolboy that wasn't really in the streets? You see how this thing worked? That's all I'm gonna say.
The social engineering maneuver was extremely successful. Quote, we understood at the time that music was a powerful means of propaganda to reach the youth, explained the 77-year-old man. Our mission was to use teenage angst to our advantage and turn Generation X into a decadent, pro-drug, and anti-establishment culture that would create uprisings and further division within society. We even infiltrated mainstream radio to promote their music and reach millions of people every day, he admitted, visibly proud.
Wait.
to use teenage angst to our advantage and turn Generation X into a decadent, pro-drug, and anti-establishment culture that would create uprisings and further division within society.
A pro-drug, anti-establishment culture. What the fuck are we looking at now? That was 40 years ago. That was 40 something years ago. They told you what the plan was. And look at the fucking world you live in. Now, you think hip hop's the only thing they did that with? You must be out your damn mind.
We even infiltrated mainstream radio to promote their music and reach millions of people every day, he admitted, visibly proud of the accomplishment. For many of us in the CIA, infiltrating the 1980s hip-hop scene was one of the CIA's most successful experiments of propaganda to date, he acknowledged during the interview. The retired CIA agent, who was granted a Russian residence permit in 2011, also claimed Lior Cohen, commonly known as the tall Israeli who runs hip-hop, is a CIA asset. When it comes to engineering culture, no one touches Lior Cohen, Homestead admitted. He ended up promoting rappers such as Jay-Z and Kanye West, and more recently brought Migos and Young Thug to prominence. Some experts openly admit hip-hop nihilism, which...
Now look how they running through all of these different artists, all different eras and all different time periods, and they all throwing up the same hand signals. You see this, you see this, and you see this. And Jim Jones even had a necklace made like this. This is 666. I already showed y'all that. 666. That's what this means. And that's why they put it over the eye, the all-seeing eye. And you think every rapper just doing this just because. When rap is all about being different and individuality, but for some reason, every rapper can't resist doing this, this, and this. And that don't mean nothing, huh? It look cool. Rock and roll, dude.
Expressed in the use of harder, more self-destructive drugs like heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamine, pushed United States President Richard Nixon into the war on drugs, a campaign of prohibition of drugs and foreign military intervention, with the stated aim being to define and reduce the illegal drug trade within America and around the world. Quote, "The chaos we caused in America helped the government justify overseas wars of plunder to Middle America. The country wouldn't be where it is today without hip-hop." Of course, hip-hop is not the only musical genre that has been infiltrated by the CIA, and certainly not the first. Many popular musicians of the second half of the 20th century, like David Crosby, John Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas, and Frank Zappa, grew up on military bases. They also resided in Los Angeles, in a military intelligence base on Laurel Canyon, where they were allegedly involved in the CIA's MKUltra program, a mind control operation whose real focus was to produce or at least manipulate the 60s counterculture scene. Jim Morrison was one of the earliest to arrive. He was son of the U.S. Navy admiral in command of the warships involved in the false flag operation known as the Gulf of Tonkin incident of 1964, which was used to justify the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War.
There's a conspiracy out there about Laurel Canyon. Now, Laurel Canyon is out in California, and there was a Air Force watchtower out there back in the late World War II area, back in the 1960s. And back then they had a studio there. Now this studio had a sound stage, a editing stage, a animation editing room. It had everything. Now this place, I guess, was used for the atomic testing footage. So all that footage was taken to this studio in Laurel Canyon and was edited there. and was processed. So after they got this, you know, they reviewed all the footage from the atomic testing. Now, what's really strange about this is, well, a lot of musicians came out of this place back in the 1960s. Actually, all of those hippie musicians that you hear actually came from Laurel Canyon. Now, a lot of people say that these musicians had ties with the military and with the studio up in Laurel Canyon, which was an Air Force base. So, as the Vietnam War was going on, this hippie movement out of Laurel Canyon started becoming very popular. And in fact, Jim Morrison's father, Stephen Morris, was a very highly naval officer, very high ranking, and he was actually part of the Gulf of Tonkin, which started the Vietnam War. So as this was going on, his son, Jim Morrison, was becoming very popular in the cultural movement. A lot of famous artists came from there. Even the Beach Boys came from there. Now, the Beach Boys, got very famous back in the day during the whole hippie movement, but also Charlie Manson was very popular too. Now, Charlie Manson was a songwriter, so he would actually write songs for the Beach Boys. Now, if you don't believe me, here's an actual song that he wrote, and this is, in fact, him singing it.
Give up your work. Come on, you can't be. I'm your kind, oh, your kind, I can see. Walk on, walk on.
So, that right there is, Charlie Manson. So he was very popular with the Beach Boys and with the other groups. And of course, we all know what happened to Charlie Manson. So, it's very, very strange, guys. And what I'm trying to say is this could...
Now, check this out. When you see... this crazy. When y'all see what they doing to Bill Cosby, what they did to Bill Cosby, what they do to all of these celebrities when they done with them, that's because of Charlie Manson. See, they blackballed Charlie Manson from the record industry because he was starting to get mad. Like, they signed Charlie Manson to the record label, and so they kept him on the shelf and kept him writing. What we don't know about Charlie Manson is Charlie Manson was a celebrity. He was famous, and he was a huge ladies' man. That's why he had so many followers. He wasn't they try to make him look like some dirty, destitute, bummy dude. Nah. A lot of the Beach Boys and the Beatles, they whole flavor and swagger, that shit came from Charlie Manson. Charlie Manson was the one with the... Listen to him once they got him. Listen to how hip and how much flavor he had. Do he look like the dirty ass nigga that they had in the movies, dumpster diving and all that shit? No, Charlie Manson was that nigga. But he knew they was using him, and he got mad. And so Charlie Manson was the first Bumpy Johnson. Y'all know Bumpy J from The Chi? When the record company got to plan with him, he started robbing people and shit. That's what Charlie Manson did. He see that they was using him, steady stealing his songs and giving them to the Beach Boys and the Beatles and all that shit. And he was kind of quirky and weird. So it's like that Star Child shit, they wasn't ready for that. So they felt like Charlie Manson was a little too introverted to be on the main stage. And so they tried to keep him on the shelf, and Charlie Manson got tired of that shit and snapped. Then when he had the meeting with him, they told him he was going to be good at the meeting, and he left, and the motherfucker never called him. So it's like, y'all keep playing with me? All right. He had so much pull, he said his people, go over there and rough their ass up and tell them to give my money then. They owed him some money. Okay, if you ain't gonna put the record out, give my chop. They started giving some slick shit lip service, sent him on his way. Charlie didn't get that money, he sent them goons. What would you have done? Realistically, Charlie did some real nigga shit. They was playing with his paper, he sent the squad over there, go get him. So either way it go, it just show you it's the same thing, they just evolve. Okay, so that we don't end up with another Charlie Manson on our hands. Soon as you motherfuckers get out of pocket, we gonna handle your ass rough. They was a little scared of Charlie Manson. Okay, we ain't gonna play with y'all like that no more. Now, you see how they come now? They set your ass up for the kill. Give your ass the what's that brother that they just got? The Majors. They give your ass to Jonathan Majors. The P. Diddy. Well, P. Diddy got it coming though. But either way it go, I'm just trying to get y'all to see that it be so much shit behind the scenes. Now look how they got us thinking Charlie Manson. And I always wondered, like, how come somebody so fucking sick got so many followers? Because he was the man before they put that jacket on him of being this crazy motherfucker. He was never crazy in the first place. He was somebody with a lot of talent. They played with his money, and he said, bitch, okay, well, play with this. Now, that's the industry. It's always been rigged. And now they're showing us how they rigged it. Through the gate. It didn't get infiltrated. They rigged it through the gate. Just like they show us this story of Ice Cube, some little nerd that just good with writing rhymes to ride the bus by itself. And maybe that's true. But something happened to young Ice Cube where he got in bed with the feds early in the game. Because you just heard them people tell you, we got documents from a ex-CIA. We wrote that shit. So that means Ice Cube been working with them peoples since day fucking one. And I believe it because if you watch his recent interview, he will take zero credit for the harm that end up. Every other rapper will at least admit I did some damage. This fucker still to this day saying NWA didn't do nothing wrong and they didn't hurt the youth with what they did. That let me know right now he one of them fucking people. Remember, he was the first Tyler Perry. They gave that Negro a studio too. See, y'all think it's about talent. If it was about talent, it wouldn't be no ghetto. If all it took was talent to get to the top, there wouldn't be a such thing as the ghetto or the projects. Everybody in the ghetto got talent. Double Dutch is an international sport. You show me one of them little Asian girls that could fuck with LaQuisha from down the street. I'll wait. And don't let her have some bubble gum in her mouth when she jumping. Lil Mei-Ling, Lulu is dead meat. I don't give a fuck. You could get LaQuisha right off of a nap and her head ain't combed. And go get Lil Mei-Ling, who been practicing all month. Give LaQuisha some bubble gum and let her take her shoes off. Mei-Ling will get fucked up. Just that simple. So my point is, in order for you to see us still in the same space, the game had to get rigged. And you see it's only getting worse. The murder rate is getting worse. How come the more conscious we get, the more black bodies dropped by black pistols in the hands of black people? Something ain't right. We praying to Jesus. We praying to Allah. We doing everything. And black bodies is dropping by black pistols and black hands more than it ever have. The white boy telling you why. Because it was a government CIA psyop in the beginning.
Possibly be an MK Ultra type of experiment on society back in the day. This is what was a way to control the youth. They weren't really sure what was going to happen with the youth during the Vietnam War when it was all going to happen. They were probably afraid of retaliation, maybe people getting violent actually. So they needed some kind of opposition control. And maybe these musicians were a part of that. So Laurel Canyon, if you haven't heard about it, go ahead and look it up.
The Laurel Canyon compound was recently purchased by actor and filmmaker Jared Leto for $5 million. The Army Air Corps officially built this top-secret movie production studio in 1947. Military training films and top-secret Department of Defense documentaries were produced, including a series on above-ground nuclear tests in Nevada. That said, celebrities like Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley are also said to have worked there, signing non-disclosure agreements. Oh, and Timothy Leary lived across the street. For decades, a so-called anti-propaganda law prevented the U.S. government's covert broadcasting arm from delivering politically deceptive programming to American audiences. But in 2013, that came silently to an end with the implementation of a new reform passed under the Obama administration as part of the National Defense Authorization Act, which included an amendment that nullified the Smith-Mundt Act of 1948, which explicitly forbids information and psychological operations aimed at influencing U.S. public opinion. Critics claim that the act also unleashed thousands of hours per week of government-funded radio and TV programs for domestic U.S. consumption in what has been criticized as a green light for politically motivated social engineering and U.S. domestic propaganda efforts.
For all my Obama lovers, same-sex marriage, and it's okay to lie to the people. Love you.
The U.S. government has been pulling the levers behind the scenes in Hollywood for decades, from funding the 1954 animated movie Animal Farm to more recently Transformers and Iron Man. The propaganda comes in many disguises, including patriotic musical lyrics, comic books, and even abstract expressionist art. Sometimes the spin is so subtle, audiences don't even notice the CIA or military intelligence are calling the shots. American operatives aren't the only propaganda artists in the world.
Okay, I got a quick question. We already discussed how the television came from Nazi Germany, and we already discussed how they snuck the Nazi Germany scientists into the country, this, that, and the third. And we already discussed how the Jews took the reparations money and built Hollywood 2 years later. We already discussed that. What we haven't discussed is, when did the Jews agree to start working with the United States government on movies? Because it's documented. There's a whole documentary about how the United States Army and the United States government you have to get approval for them when you're doing certain movies, because like if it's an army movie or something like that, you got to get permission from the Pentagon. You can't just put out an army movie and you might get the facts wrong. So the same people that came from Nazi Germany and got reparations and then started Hollywood, at some point they agree to cooperate with the United States government on certain movies. You see how this thing is merging slowly, and we not doing nothing but just watching TV. We don't know that the United States government is responsible, because this is why it matters. Because of safety protocol, certain things they have to lie about. But we don't know what things those are. And we don't know at what point the lie begins and ends. We just know it's there. It's a slippery slope.
Of course, it just happened to be the most sophisticated. And propaganda is most impactful when people don't even think it's propaganda. And in actuality, the government has influenced thousands of movies, TV shows, and programming targeting children, portraying certain racial populations as born oppressors, and promoting a woke ideology and antisocial behaviors. Politicians, activist groups, and cultural institutions, including universities and companies like Disney and DreamWorks, are being weaponized because they're deliberately inserting propaganda and social engineering into their content to perpetuate their far-left agendas, including a cultural decline in traditional values and justifying a demographic shift that mainstream media denies is happening. As an anthropologist, I feel it's my responsibility to bring attention to the blatant attempt to derail the strength and fortitude of the family unit by eradicating national identity, concepts of ancestral heritage, racial and cultural affiliation, free speech, and even the biological notion of gender, in an effort to replace a sense of pride in local community with a globalist Marxist persona that is easier to manipulate and govern by an unelected authoritarian sect of totalitarian communist dictators. My name is Robert Sepper. I'm an anthropologist. My published work is available on Amazon and through all other major book outlets. If you'd like to support my work, you can do that through Patreon.
Now, peace, Queen. Thank you. Now, it's one thing for us to think why would they make it easy for us to recover, giving us the evidence like Judah and the Black Messiah? I'm not sure I understand the question. I'm not sure I understand the question. When you say, why would they make it easy for us to recover, giving us the evidence like Judah? Oh no, I forgot to tell him. Well, it's too late now. Facebook down. He gave me a charger, but he didn't. He asked me, did I need one? I said, yeah, and I think he forgot to give it to me because it ain't over here. My phone dead. Damn it. Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the question, to be honest with you. So if you could find a way to make me get it, my apologies. But I was gonna say, so now that's that's evidence right there that the CIA is involved in hip hop, and they said via the MK Ultra mind control. And so now let's check something out real quick.
The CIA is carrying out mind control on countless numbers of unwitting American victims. And he even went so far as to say the basic methods that they use in this mind control: hypnosis, drugs, and torture.
Three parts policy that they had adopted there. The second one was to find a way of being able to get total control of people's minds. And that would be done by
Okay.
taking
Why would they make it so, like you said, they need permission to make the movie? That movie admits to their crime against us as humans and just originals of the land. See, that's what I meant. Yeah, it admits to their crime against us, but what can really be done about it? Because the only thing what they're gonna say is that was then. Those people are dead. Then that's no longer happening anymore. So that's why we got to educate ourselves and put a stop to it, because they're gonna just say, that's the old ways. We don't do that stuff anymore. But you could see the results of the past actions playing in the present. But that I was
last week. You had the most adorable, pretty eyes. You have a boyfriend?
No, sir.
Why not?
They're mean.
Boyfriends? You mean all boys are mean? I'm not mean. How about me?
Well, it depends.
I get that a lot.
That just made my skin crawl. And now, that's another thing I was trying to tell y'all when we was dealing with Michael Jackson. Anytime y'all see that butterfly, it is because of the monarch butterfly. It represents the monarch mind control. So when you see that Michael Jackson had butterflies trimmed into his hedges and shit, I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna do a thing on Michael Jackson that's gonna blow y'all mind. Not only was he one of them, he was a lot sicker than we think, and he did not talk like that. That was for y'all. Michael Jackson's voice was deeper than mine. His normal voice, when he was not around anybody that was gonna record or snitch, Michael Jackson had a deep ass voice. That high pitched bullshit was for y'all. And I want to show y'all this thing. Oh, here we go. Watch this dude. Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now. Y'all see that laugh on his face? He's being questioned about his child molestation charges, and he cannot stop fucking laughing. You're being questioned and interrogated about child molestation. What the fuck would be so funny? Watch this shit.
She can't stop. She can't stop her from making. There's nothing you can do.
Some chamomile tea over there that might settle it down. The first problem is it might put you to sleep. You're welcome. Mr. Jackson, in the latter portion of 1993, there were some allegations leveled at you concerning improper conduct with some young boys. I assume you're familiar with the fact that
what the fuck is so funny about that? That man just asked him about his misconduct with young boys, and he bust up laughing. What the fuck is so funny? Even if I was laughing about the funniest shit I ever heard, soon as that question comes out, it's not funny anymore.
allegations were raised. Is that right?
Yes.
In fact, there was ultimately at least 2 grand jury inquiries into that I am currently aware of, although counsel tells me there may have been a third. Were you aware that grand jury investigations were conducted into those allegations?
Yes.
Strike that. Did you know at the time that the grand jury was investigating these matters that they were in fact investigating? In other words, you didn't find out after it had completed. You knew in advance that people were being subpoenaed to testify.
In advance?
Yeah, poorly phrased.
Yeah, he was definitely a genius, and he's also was a pedo. He was a genius, though. He was fucking brilliant. But you can't get to Michael Jackson level and not be one of them. He was definitely a genius, though. He was smart as fuck. And he tricked them people out of a lot of that money, too. That was a big problem. He got them out of all of the masters. When the record company was going broke, they borrowed money from Mike. And so Mike had that whole catalog for everybody, the Beatles, all of them. That's why when Little Richard went broke, Michael gave Little Richard his master so he could get back on. He was smart than a motherfucker, but he was twisted as hell too. But I just want to show y'all the different people and different phases of the. Hold on, let me see.
You ever heard of Panda? Like I was telling you, Panda. So you got Panda Panda is a secret code for a certain thing. And so when it comes down to that certain thing, it's so what it is you basically have a certain nerve in your rectum. And if you touch that nerve, you can turn a person into an animal. You can turn a person into whatever you want them to be if you just hold them down. So pretty much when you see black eyes like Blueface and, you know, shit like that, he got beat up, but he didn't get beat up where you thought he got beat up. He got beat up somewhere else. Okay. And so the eyes come out and they call them panda eyes. And they do this to. So you see people with these cigars, and they're you know, all these big celebrities, they all have the cigar in common. That's that big ass thing between their legs that they're sticking in.
And he ain't lying about that's what the cigar is symbolic of. But I'm gonna do this what I already had said this, Zig. I'm gonna do it. I just did one on Tupac, and I'm gonna do one on Michael Jackson too. I found a lot of shit out about Michael Jackson, a lot of shit, and I'm gonna do a whole thing on him. I'm gonna try to get it done probably somewhere around August. I'm hoping to drop it somewhere around the end of the summer because I got so many projects coming up. But I got a lot of heat on Michael Jackson, and I'm gonna put it together like I did the Tupac shit that y'all still ain't watched, and then y'all gonna see. The pizza place is where they was holding the kids. Oh yeah, they definitely was holding the kids at the pizza place. But I'm gonna show you those, Zig. Mike's hands was filthy. He wasn't innocent. I used to think he was, but his hand wasn't innocent. Some shit just came across. I think I ran across about 2 weeks ago. I ran across something, and ever since I seen that monarch butterfly trimmed into his hedges, it had me a little curious. And then 2 weeks ago, when I was finishing up my Tupac research, I ran into something about Mike, and then I went into a rabbit hole for about a good hour or two, and I was like, fuck, I knew it. So I'm going to bring it all to the light and show y'all Mike was on that bullshit like the rest of them was. Man, look, the industry is filthy. And there's so much shit that be right in front of our face. We just don't know what we looking at. But this is literally a pedophile playground. And they did his interview. There's only one person to ask him a question, and it was the real MJ on CNN. Cat Williams tell it all. I'm gonna have to check it out. When we go to Clubhouse, I got some more stuff that we gonna that I'm gonna pull out so that we can finish breaking this thing down. But what the main thing I want to get across is for us to see that nothing is what it seems. Nothing is what it seems when you dealing with just this world in general. Like they say, the whole world is a stage. So when you looking at something, understand that the only thing you ever seen on TV is what the person who put that on TV wants you to see. That's it. Unless you in tune and you looking for something deeper. But if you there for luxury, the only thing you're gonna get is sent where the person who put that there wants you to go. You're basically experiencing someone else's thought process. Y'all be trying to take y'all thought process and implement it to somebody else's thought process. You can't put what you would do onto what somebody else did. It doesn't work like that. That individual had motive and intention when they did what they did, and it didn't have shit to do with what you might be thinking, usually. So we got to get to that space where we stop being celebrity whores and stop believing and being attached to everything that celebrities do, because you have to. There's certain things you have to do to become a celebrity. It ain't for people with a conscience and it's gonna process things rationally. The industry ain't for that. That's the window of opportunity where y'all say some people making and some don't. Y'all think it's about who got the best hustle. Hell no. It's about who's gonna fold under pressure. That's who we want. If you ain't gonna fold under pressure, we don't really have no use for you, because we gonna put that pressure on you. I mean, if we ain't learned nothing else, pay attention to the Puffy situation. Look at what he's been accused of, using his power to manipulate for 30 years. Well, shit. Is that the first millionaire in power that we heard use his money to manipulate for filthy shit? This is the way of the world that you're living in. And you just need to understand that shit's way deeper than what you're processing. None of this shit is just, oh, yeah. No. So when it's all said and done, we just realized, if nothing else, we just realized that from the inception of something that we're calling Black culture, but it was created by the enemy of Black culture, if there is such a thing, which I don't think there is, but hey. Ask you how you feel about Clive Davis airing out. I feel like Clive Davis is the mastermind. He's behind all of this. Clive Davis taught Andre Durrell. Andre Durrell taught Puffy. And Clive Davis was in a relationship with both of them. And that's facts. We got information that we could prove. Clive Davis went out on several dinner engagements with Puffy and bought him shit. And it was rumored that Clive Davis was in a relationship with Andre Durrell for years. That came out in the open that they was actively in a relationship. So, and then Clive Davis came out actively and admitted that he's had relationships with women and he's had them with men. And in the end, he stuck with men. He came out and said this. So why is a man who admit that he had both men and women and preferred men, and now he's got young Black dudes on his record label that need him in order for them to succeed? And you, come on, please. And if we take it a step further, Jaguar Wright tell you she know for a fact Puffy got out on both of them. So at the end, this study found out we are all running on the same entity. So your thoughts are recycled. The universe is one conscious. Yeah, I agree with that. That's the God conscious. That's the God mind. It's all one consciousness, because there's only one existence. That's it. The real reality haven't even started yet. You are right now experiencing the thought process of the creator. He's still figuring out how he gonna shake this thing. That's why they call it the Matrix, the illusionary existence. I told you, you got to start coming up here, Zig. You ain't gonna do nothing but throw me alley-oops all night. We're gonna be around this bitch throwing alley-oops all night. Hey, so y'all already know how we rocking. We going to Clubhouse at 8:30. We'll be on Misinformation Nation on Clubhouse, and then we gonna finish this up. I probably won't be on there too late tonight, but we definitely gonna rock. So I see y'all at 8:30. Knowledge is the only real power. Information is the only real currency. But the application of both is the route to divinity. I love y'all. I'm gone.